Hi everyone, I'm Hope. This is Ivy. Say hi. And we just wanted to take a moment to share our story with you. We are very sorry we could not be there with you tonight, but Ivy got sick this week and she is still not well, and we're trying to get her over this. It takes a long time for her to recover from illnesses. But we wanted to share our St. Jude story with you as briefly as I possibly can. Our journey started in 2007 with St. Jude. 6 months prior, in 2006, Ivy was diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor. And after surgery and complications to that, she came out with many deficits. And it began at another children's hospital, and we were given a 13% chance of survival, and that Ivy could not receive radiation till she was 3 years old, and that radiation was the only effective treatment for her cancer. After about 4 months of chemotherapy and after a long talk with her oncologist, I told him he was going to have to come up with a different way to treat Ivy, because there was no way she was going to make it to 3 years of age going through the harsh chemotherapy she was going through. So after a talk with the radiation oncologist there at the Children's Hospital, he met with Dr. Thomas Merchant at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. You love Dr. Thomas Merchant, don't you? And Dr. Merchant said he wanted to take on Ivy's case. So my husband and Ivy and I drove up to St. Jude and encountered a different experience that we had ever had before at a children's hospital. The first 6 months of her journey pretty much dealt with going into operating rooms and living in a small hospital room often during the first 6 months, because she had to be hospitalized for her treatments and every time she caught a fever or she was sick. And when we walked into St. Jude, we saw little kids running around everywhere, these cute little bald-headed babies and these teenagers, and everyone just interacting with one another, which is something we had not seen before. And it was just a very different experience for us, and one that was very positive from the very beginning. Once we met with Dr. Merchant, we told him that statistically what they had told us about Ivy from the very start at the other hospital with the other oncologist, and what he had told us our outcome was going to be. And Dr. Merchant gave us hope by telling us that he had developed a radiation that could be done on 1-year-olds, 1 year old or older, and that her statistics of this radiation being effective for her would be very good, and if she made it past 3 years post-treatment, she would jump up to an 85th percentile rate of survival. I'm sorry, she's got a cough, guys. Good job. For the first time since her diagnosis, when we heard those words come out of his mouth, we felt hope for the first time. To go from a 13% chance of survival to an 85% chance of survival was just a miracle in our eyes. So after having conversations about the pros and cons and what we needed to do, Ivy and I moved to Memphis with her brother and sister, and were able to live there at the Ronald McDonald House without a worry of anything except for taking care of her and letting her go through radiation treatment. Ivy made it through radiation great, and she did very well for 3.5 years. And unfortunately, in 2011, the little bit sliver of cancer that had been left behind from the first surgery grew back, and we had to go through this journey all over again. And by the grace of God, they got it all the second time. Every bit of the cancer was removed that they could see, and we chose to go through radiation for a second time, which is a very scary road, because radiation is only supposed to be done once, and we were going through it for the second time. And Ivy made it through radiation. There are some side effects due to the surgery that she had and from the radiation that we're dealing with. One of them being that she has paralyzed vocal cords, and it's very hard for her to get through sicknesses and other things, and she has balance issues and other things like that we have to constantly work on. But the wonderful thing is that St. Jude helps us through it all. They're every part of her life, everything that she's gone through, not just from surgery and treatment, but every aspect of her life, her quality of life is very important to Dr. Merchant and his team. There's never a moment that I can't pick up the phone or email his nurse Christy or even himself if I have a question or if I have a need that they won't try to take care of it. Ivy just celebrated 5 years post-treatment anniversary back in May. She is officially in remission. And all of that is possible because of people like you that have given to St. Jude over the years. I remember watching videos when I was a teen in my parents' house of children on Saturday mornings. I'd be flipping through the channels and there would be a commercial for St. Jude and the work that Danny Thomas had done there. And I never in a million years would have imagined that one day I would be one of those parents that was talking in those videos and that I would be sharing my story about my daughter. But the blessing is that I'm sitting here with my daughter today and I'm sharing her story with you. And that's not a very attractive face, baby girl. And we are here today to thank you for everything that you've done for St. Jude. If it were not for people like you, if it were not for the people who participate in the Give Thanks walks and the people who participate in the Give Back days at Chili's and other restaurants that take on St. Jude and other stores that take on St. Jude as a profit, nonprofit, excuse me, and a help and a charity, then the treatments that Dr. Merchant and other doctors at that hospital have developed would not have been developed, and Ivy wouldn't have had a chance at survival. There wouldn't have been anything that they could have done for her. And St. Jude is still trying to come up with better treatments, better surgeries, better ways to treat cancer. There's other cancers out there that we have got to come up with cures for and ways to treat. And St. Jude is the place that's making that happen. They share the research with everybody. There's nothing that they will not share with the rest of the world because they want every child to have a chance at life, no matter where they live or where they receive treatment. St. Jude doesn't hold anything back or not share anything. And why would you not want to support a place like that who looks for all kinds of ways to give children a chance at life and to give parents like myself an opportunity to have their child and raise them? Those monthly donations that people give, that's really where St. Jude flourishes. When we first started at St. Jude, there was this smaller facility, and just in the 9 years that we've been there, it has doubled in size, and it's doubled in the way that they can take on more patients and help more children with their quality of life and survival. So we just want to take a moment and thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we wish that we could be there to thank all of you in person, to give you a hug, and just tell you how much we appreciate everything that you do, and that without people like you and without the vision of Danny Thomas, that places like St. Jude wouldn't exist, and there wouldn't be beautiful children like my Ivy who would have a chance at life and have a chance to grow up and bless people with the beautiful heart that she has. So once again, thank you. God bless you, and we thank you for everything that you've done for us. Would you like to say anything else, Ivy? No? She's a little more active usually when she feels good. She actually cracks me up quite a bit. Oh, poor baby. Anyway, once again, thank you. Bye-bye.